Coaches Media Teleconference as we talk about Week 4 and preview Week 5. And before we begin with our coaches, we will begin with our usual announcements to lead the call. First, Big South has 3 teams in the top 25 rankings for the first time in league history. As the coaches poll yesterday revealed, Coastal Carolina at number 3, Liberty at number 23, and Charleston Southern at number 25. Our players of the week from this past weekend. First, from Liberty, the Choice Hotels Offensive Player of the Week, quarterback Josh Woodrum. Our Defensive Player of the Week is from Liberty, free safety Jacob Hagan. The Special Teams Player of the Week was Charleston Southern Return Specialist Darius Hammond. And the Kronz Brand Freshman of the Week, Gardner-Webb linebacker Jeffrey McGee. So congratulations to those individuals for their performances this past weekend. And some notes to pass along before we begin with our coaches. This Saturday, the Big South will debut on the American Sports Network, with Coastal Carolina hosting Elon at 7 p.m. TV clearances and affiliates will be released tomorrow. The Big South has improved to 12-2 against FCS competition. Liberty won the matchup of ranked teams last week, and the Big South is now 7-8 all-time in such meetings during the league's history. Coastal Carolina and Charleston Southern are 4-0, 2 of the 5 teams nationally that are 4-0 after the first 4 weeks. And the Big South is the only FCS conference to have 2 4-0 teams. Big South members are 13-0 at home so far this season. Coastal Carolina's D'Angelo Henderson remains ahead of Lorenzo Taliaferro's 2013 rushing total after 4 games. Liberty kicker John Lunsford kicked the longest field goal in Big South history Saturday, a 57-yarder against Bryant. Big South members have returned a league record 5 fumbles for touchdowns already this season. Darius Hammond of Charleston Southern, he set the school record with his 74-yard punt return for a touchdown. Coastal Carolina's Quinn Backus is 4th in league history for career tackles with 352, and now tied for 2nd for career forced fumbles with 7. He has 4 already this season. Liberty's Josh Woodrum and Gardner-Webb's Lucas Beatty are climbing the Big South's career total offensive list. And Gardner-Webb tight end Seth Cranfield is approaching the Big South's career record for receptions by a tight end. He needs 4 to break that record. And with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to the head coach of the Running Bulldogs, Coach Carroll McCray. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing fine. Congrats to the Running Bulldogs for the 43-36 win over Wofford to move to 2-2. Heading on the road Saturday, visiting the Citadel. If you can open up and talk about the win over Wofford and then give us your thoughts on the Bulldogs, we'll take questions.
Okay, thank you. Well, we certainly were glad to come out on top of a game that was a little bit different than what we've been used to in the past couple of weeks. You know, Wofford's got a fine football team, and, you know, we know what they're made of. They played very well, and we had our hands full. I think halftime score 28-20. And we did not handle their option very well. In the first part of the ball game, we had a lot of mental errors that we had to get some young men back in a proper position, and were able to do that a little bit after halftime and played better in the third quarter, except for the first play of the third quarter. Settled down a little bit defensively and played our responsibilities better, and were able to get them off the field. Offensively, it was good to have Kenny Cook back. He was first time this season. He was able to play the whole game, and that helped spark our passing attack and get Lucas Beatty going a little bit for our offense. And I think probably the best thing that we did, we were able to hold on to the football. We didn't have any turnovers, and we eliminated some negative plays and were able to move the ball down the field. And when we got in scoring position, we were able to execute down there a little bit tighter, better than we had in the past in the tight zone, and score some points. Good ball game. Fans enjoyed it. And, you know, as coaches, you get involved in it, and, you're thankful when it's over with. But as you mentioned, we had some young players. Jeffrey McGee played a good game, young player out of Charlotte, and had some other guys that stepped up to the plate and played pretty good second half. Still got a lot of work to do. We're definitely a team that's needing to grow every week, showing our immaturity in a lot of spots. So we've got a lot of maturing to do each and every week if we want to continue to represent the Big South like we need to, especially with conference play across lines there in the Southern Conference. We'll have our hands full this week. Citadel, the Citadel, watching them, they played 3 really good football teams. If you look there, and they played 2 of our friends in the Big South. Both those teams now ranked in the top 25, and then they played the number 1 team in the country. They have had their open date already. And, Coach Houston being first year down there, we know him very well from being at Lenore Ryan as we came through North Greenville before our arrival here back at Gardner-Webb. So we've got a lot of work to do with our team to make some corrections. They do run the option. Right now they're number 5 in the country with their rushing offense, and a little bit different style than Wofford College, but old school inside veer, outside veer, and really got a good quarterback running the things they want to do. I think they're growing. I think they're much better each and every week, and was happy to see Charleston Southern beat them this past week to represent our conference in a positive light, but it was a heck of a ball game, and the Citadel really gave Southern all they wanted, I think, and but I was glad we were able to come out as a conference on top. So got a lot of work to do. Glad to see our offense moving along. Thought our special teams took a step in the right direction, and if we can just keep growing in those areas, then hopefully we can show some improvement again this week. We have not been a real good road team, so we really got to buckle down and, be a little more tough on ourselves as far as our focus and our mental attitude going into this football game if we want to try to win one on the road in a tough environment down at Johnson A. Good Stadium.
Thank you, Coach. At this time, we'll start taking questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. If you're asking a question, please press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click raise hand if you joined us via the web. Questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. Coach, I'll lead off with a question or two. Due to injuries, you've had to play a lot of young guys. They've really kind of stepped up. Who were some of those individuals, notably Aaron Cook, who stepped in as some of the linebacker with 11 tackles this past week, and some of the others, as Jeffrey Pegues, as we mentioned, our freshman of the week.
Right.
Just talk about those young guys being able to step in sooner than you anticipated, but how well they're playing.
Well, we've got some guys I think that are growing each week, and you mentioned several of the guys. We're having to play some young offensive linemen. We continue to take on some injuries there. I think this week with our 5th ball game, this will be our 5th lineup up front. We've not played the same 5 in one game yet, so we've had some young linemen have to step up. We got quite a few guys defensively that, as you said, are not only playing in the game, some of them have moved into starting roles with Pegues, and I think Kenyatta Dunbar's had to play a lot there at linebacker, and that will continue throughout the season. But pleased with their progress, very displeased with some of our focus on certain plays, but I think they are improving each and every week, and we just got to get them relaxed, not give them too much to do so that they can execute when the ball's snapped. Same thing on offense, having to play some young receivers because we've had some injuries there. We are getting a few guys back, and that's helping us a little bit. But, we've got to have our older guys offensively make some plays and to go along with those young guys, and that's what happened this past week. You mentioned Cranfield. We're able to get the ball to our tight ends a little bit, he and Mike Estes, and then having Kenny come back certainly gave Lucas some comfortability. We did play Tyrell Maxwell, and we played him every week. He came in and gave us a touchdown first snap. He went back in the ball game, so he's continuing to improve and giving us a package where Lucas can take a deep breath and get him a little something to drink on the sideline before he has to go back on the field. So we'll continue to play all those young players at each and every spot and see if we can grow throughout the year, and hopefully see them improve this week and next week before we head into a mid-season open date, which, the timing of that I hope will be pretty good before we start conference play.
Thanks, Coach. And talk about Kenny Cook's return. How did he look? Where is he at Percentage-wise, is he back 100%, or does he still have some more conditioning?
I think he's close. His conditioning was off a little bit. He did have some cramps late in the ball game. He's just not 100% in game shape. I think he came back from his injury. I do not think that's an issue. We still have a little strengthening. He's probably, according to the test, about, he's in the 90 percentile category of being well as far as the injury. According to him, he just fought game snaps and live action a little more than he did the injury being bothersome. So we expect him to be in better game shape this week because he's, back in action full time. Should be able to go every rep in practice, and then we can continue to move him forward. So he's certainly a dynamic player, and he gives us a lot of different things that helps us offensively. And we hope that that injury will continue to come on, get it to 100%, and get him in game shape so he'll be ready to go the whole game.
Thank you, Coach. I'm not seeing any other questions for you, so we can go ahead and let you go. But I appreciate you joining us. Saturday at the Citadel.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck to all the Big South teams as we continue to play all these crosstown rivals. Hope everything goes well for everybody.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye-bye.
Once again, Gardner-Webb at the Citadel, Saturday evening, 6 p.m.